Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Frost Giant, and welcome back to another deck profile in Yu-Gi-Oh! Today we are going to deck profile the Amorphage deck, so let's jump right into this. So right off the bat, we have three Goliaths, because with Goliath, if he's in your Pendulum Scale Zone, any card that is sent to that is destroyed is banished instead of being sent to the graveyard, unless it's an Amorphage monster. So it's really good in case your opponent is using another Pendulum deck. So instead of having it be destroyed and get sent to their extra deck, it's immediately banished, which is also good considering most cards nowadays have the effect when it's like, when this card is sent to the graveyard, well, now it's not even sent to the graveyard, it's just banished. So I've got three of him. Then I have three Prides, because Pride's effect is as long as you control an Amorphage monster, neither you nor your opponent takes effect damage, but there's no real effect damage in this deck, so it more benefits you. And then I've got three Wraths, because when Wrath is in your scale, as long as you control an Amorphage monster, neither player can tribute for any monster unless it's an Amorphage. So really the only one that would really require the tribute is Goliath himself. So, but I normally try to use it for a scale when I can. And then I have three Envies, because with Envy you cannot activate cards for a chain link of 2 or higher. So it's pretty much a one and done scenario as long as Envy is in your scale, but I don't normally use Envy in my scale. I normally use him as a defense position monster, just as kind of a meat shield, protect my life points. And then I've got three Greeds, because when Greed is in your scale, I normally use him. As long as you control an Amorphage monster, your opponent and yourself cannot activate trap cards unless they're Amorphage trap cards, which I don't have any in this deck, as you guys can probably assume by now. But it's really good considering I don't have much trap cards in my deck. And in case like your opponent is gonna, like, if your opponent has a whole set back row, then you attack them, you don't really have to worry about like Mirror Force or anything like that nipping you in the butt because of Greed. And then I've got three Luxes, because while he's in your scale, you and your opponent cannot activate spell cards unless they are Amorphage cards, which kind of benefits me because I've got three field spells and three continuous spells. So that kind of benefits me there. Then I've got the Drac Overlord, because he can be ritual summoned when you have Amorphous Persona, and pretty much when he's ritual summoned, your opponent skips his or her next main phase 1, and also all fusions, synchros, and XYZs on the field, all their effects are negated while he's on the field. And if he's into the graveyard, if you want to add more Drac Overlords, by all means go ahead. When he's into the graveyard, you can add them from your deck to your hand, except his itself, so I can't really get the other one from my deck if it's in there. And then I've got 3 Fang of Critias, because with this I can use either Mirror Force or my Tyrant Wing to summon Tyrant Burst Dragon or Mirror Force Dragon. It literally all depends on what I'm feeling. If I know my opponent's stronger than I am, I'll summon Mirror Force. If I know I need to make numerous attacks because I have a strong monster, then I'll pull out Tyrant. It all honestly depends on what which one I have on the field, like in my possession, either Mirror Force or Tyrant, and B, how strong my like how many cards my opponent controls and how strong they are. So there's that. And then I have 3 Amorphous Personas, in which all Amorphage monsters you control gain 300. And you contribute 1 Amorphage card and draw 1 card, which is really good because you can use that up to twice per turn. And pretty much, like I mentioned earlier, when he's sent to the graveyard, you can ritual summon your Overlord from your hand pretty much. Then I've got Amorphage Infection, which is continuous and they stack. So pretty much all Amorphage cards you control gain 100 per every Amorphage card you control. So you have 5 Amorphage cards, they all gain 500. Boom, that's simple. And this also counts, and I also believe the cards you have in your Pendulum count. So if you have 3 of these, 2 Pendulums, the 5 monsters, that's an additional 1,000. So that's pretty beneficial to have them. Also, while this card's on the field, if an Amorphage monster is destroyed, then you can add 1 to your hand. Like I said, Mirror Force, always have them, but in this deck it's more beneficial. because I have Mirror Force Dragon. Then Bottomless Trap Hole, you all know me, that's kind of a go-to. Raigeki, go-to. Tyrant Wing. Tyrant Ring, you can equip it to a monster. It gains 400 attack. It can make up to 2 attacks per turn. But at the end of your turn, it is destroyed. So again, I don't normally use it much because I mainly try to focus on my Tyrant Burst Dragon. Then I've got 2 Magic Cylinders and then Scapegoats, because with the Amorphage cards, you have to tribute 1 card you control, or the pendulum scale will be destroyed. So these are more as placeholders in case I don't have an Amorphage card like on the field currently. And then you have Terraform, just so I can get my Persona card on the field. But yeah, so another thing about Tyrant Dragon, if I didn't already mention this earlier, is you can equip it to a monster, and that monster can make up to 3 attacks per turn. Even though it only gains 400 attack, it's still better than nothing. Especially if you have like Goliath on the field, and you have like stuff like Infection and Persona. It gains 400 and can make up to 3 attacks per turn. That's really stacked right there. And normally I would have more XYZ monsters here, but with this deck I really try to focus on getting them out, because while either special summoned or flip summoned face up, no monster can be special summoned from your XYZ, or from your extra deck, excuse me, other than Amorphage cards, which are really good, and making sure your opponent doesn't get XYZ cards out. And if they have pendulums, they're pretty much done with. But as long as Goliath is in your scale, you don't really have to worry about pendulums to begin with. But I really hope you guys have enjoyed this. If so, leave a like, subscribe if you already haven't, and comment down below what other decks you guys want to see me use. So with that, I will catch you all later.